The true gospel is public news. In other words, it's for everything and everyone. It's pervasive news, meaning it doesn't just stay in church, it actually impacts everything. You understand, the gospel gets into politics, it changes politics. The gospel gets into the media, it changes the media, right? It changes art, it changes law, it changes everything. The gospel permeates, it's pervasive of everything, and it's personal news. In other words, it radically transforms my death. I'm born again. It changes me from the inside out, my heart to my thinking to my life. Right? So the true gospel is public, it's pervasive, it's personal. So the quietest drift, what it does, it rejects the public and pervasive aspects of the gospel, and it only embraces the personal aspect of the gospel. Does that make sense? So in other words, I reject the breadth of the gospel, I only embrace the depth of the gospel, right? The gospel this is the me and Jesus gospel, okay? And so let's just go there for a second. The me and Jesus gospel is why the white church largely ignored the civil rights movement in the 50s. Why? Because the gospel is not public. The gospel is not pervasive. It's only personal. It's only me and Jesus. This is how the white church was able to look at lynchings and say, nah, man, that's politics. Just preach the gospel. Why? Because the gospel is not public. It's not pervasive. It's only me and Jesus. So when we say just preach Jesus, don't preach politics, what we're really saying is, hey, just preach Jesus crucified and how I can have a relationship with him now that I'm forgiven. Don't talk about the fact that God's throne is actually founded on righteousness and justice, and that racial issues really are the gospel. Come on, the plight of the poor, the plight of the immigrant, the plight of the widows and the orphans and the sex trafficking victims really do have gospel implications. You know, there's actually a story of a church in Nazi Germany in the 40s that was it was in Germany, it was right by the train tracks where the Nazis would take Jews off to the concentration camps. And the story goes that the church knew what was happening, so as the trains got closer, the choir director would stand up and they would sing louder. So they would drown out the cries of the Jews on their way to be murdered. And this is the problem of the quietest drift. No, I'm not getting involved in the world. No, I don't do politics. I don't talk to other people about Jesus. The gospel is about me and Jesus, man. And essentially, here's what we're doing. We're sticking our fingers in our ears and we're saying, la, 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 me and Jesus are good, while everybody else goes to hell. And we need to repent.